Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today we are going to be having a look at Nick's GMC Truggy. Now, one of the coolest things about this rig is that there are 3 different versions included in the mod itself. So you're going to have the crew cab version, you also have the extended cab version, and then finally the single cab version. And throughout the course of this video, we're going to be driving all 3, and we're also going to kind of be able to compare the performance of the different wheelbase lengths, which is going to be really cool to see. But before we get into any of that, we're going to start with the crew cab version, and we're going to dive straight into the customization. Now, we are out on the Stadium Super Trucks map today, and the Stadium Super Trucks map, I think, is going to give us an opportunity to really test these trucks in a variety of different challenges and different obstacles. So let's see. Engine-wise, you have one option, LBZ Duramax. Gearbox, you got a 6-speed and a 6-speed. Now, one is a stock 6-speed, the other is a custom 6-speed. I'm going to go with the custom 6-speed just to see what it is. And suspension-wise, we have a stock as well as a more flex, which is going to be kind of like your crawler setup. And tires-wise, you have a Super Swamper Bogger, you have an FSMT, you have a Thornbird, let's see, TSL Boggers, XML tires, and let's see, 54-inch Super Swamper Boggers, and I believe the list just repeats in a 54-inch tire size. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the 54-inch TSL Boggers and see where it goes from there. Now, we have rack stuff, which can go on top, obviously. We can do a black fender flare or a body-colored fender flare. I'm not going to do either one because I think it actually looks a little bit better without them. But once again, that's a very personal taste, personal choice kind of thing. And then colors-wise, you have a full range of colors. And actually, this one kind of looks, I know it's supposed to be like yellow, but that actually kind of looks gold almost. I wonder if that is just the light though, and maybe it'll look completely different when I get it outside, but I do like the green and the orange, but I'm going to go with that gold because again, I don't know why it looks, well, no, actually it does look gold when you get it outside. That's so weird. I dig it though. I like it a lot. All right, let's fire it up and see what this thing is like to drive. It sounds so good though. It sounds amazing. I do like the detail in the suspension as well, and that like the rear half cage is really well done. All right, let's see how it does in the mud first. I know it's not intended as a mud vehicle. I know it's not a mud truck, but you know what? We've got some mud here. We might as well give it a try. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, this isn't high. I mean, technically, you're not even supposed to like be going through here in high, so it's like the fact that it got that far in high already, and then now that we're back in first, it's still just ripping through the mud. That's pretty dang impressive. That's pretty respectable. All right, now, mud pit number 3 in first gear is probably going to be a little sketchy. I'm going to put it in low, and it's just continuing to just chug right through it. I'm really impressed with that, actually. There are some trucks that won't even make it through here in low. So when you consider the fact that there are trucks out there that won't even make it through here in low, it definitely makes you think a little bit about like, oh, okay, this thing is actually properly ripping. So now, let's go ahead and, whoa, all right, it's got some torque to it. It's actually got a lot of torque to it. So let's do a little bit of an obstacle test with it, and then we're going to take it over to the racetrack, because I know that since we're not doing this on the standard testing grounds, obviously we don't have some standard obstacles like the mud pits or the bridge jump, but we have a lot of jumps out here on the Stadium Super Trucks map, so those can kind of, we can kind of do those in the place of the bridge jump, and of course, we just ran this thing through the mud back there as well. So let's see how you do on a section of the obstacle course. We're not going to run the whole thing, but we're going to run a section of it. Now let's see. Oh, come on. That flex suspension is interesting because the way it's tuned and the way it's damped, it's got a... The amount of rebound almost makes me kind of feel like not only could you use this thing for like actual like trail riding stuff, but you could technically use it for obstacle racing if you really wanted to. All right, let's make our way up and over these logs. Let's see how it's going to do with this. That's actually not terrible. I mean, it's maintaining second gear. It's definitely not, like, giving up its momentum, which a lot of trucks will give up their momentum through there, and it's always super frustrating, especially when you're, whoa, especially when you're racing somebody, because if you're, whoa, stop it, straighten yourself out, there you go. But, like, if you're racing somebody and you give up all your momentum, that's it. Your race is done. I did not think it was going to go that far. Not in any way, shape, or form. Nope. I had no inkling at all that it was going to go that far. Yeah, no, that's extremely impressive, though. I was thinking it was going to just land on the opposing side's ramp, but, like, nah, it way overdid that. Way overdid that. How are you? What? That's a little confusing. And I know technically you're also supposed to go through here slow, but, you know, when you're racing against the clock, or if you're racing somebody else, you're going to try to get through here as quickly as you can. And sometimes, you know, it is definitely worth finding out how a vehicle reacts, not only when it's driven slow, but also when it's driven quickly through an obstacle race course like this one. All right, this is going to be the last obstacle we do, and then we're going to switch truck variants, but let's see. Oh, come on. That rebound again, that rebound is so weird. It's not bad, it's just weird. Like, I'm not used to trucks that have the, like, ultra soft compression, but the rebound is, like, super fast. All right, let's make our way up. Come on, there you go. It scrambled right up that rocky hill, though. It did a really good job of it, too. Like, it definitely did not give up, not whatsoever. Let's make our way down the obstacle course. Here we go. Oh, man, I was trying to see if I could stay in high all the way through. It was like, I don't know about that. Right up and over the main jump. Can you clear the whole pit? Ooh. Nearly. It nearly cleared the whole pit. I just love the way this thing looks in this color, though. It looks so good. All right, we're going to go back to the garage now, and we're going to go from one extreme to the other. So, from the quad cab over to the single cab. Now, the single cab I'm going to build a little bit differently. We're going to use the custom 6-speed again, and we're going to stick with the standard suspension that it comes with, and we're going to do some smaller tires. These are going to be the FSMTs. And visuals-wise, we're going to do, let's see, we got some flags for the back. And let's see. So actually, oh, that's interesting. I don't think the other one had that. So that's kind of cool. So you have actually like a variety of different add-ons. Now, rack stuff up top, which we could do. Same fender flare option. And let's see. AM race wheel, AM race beadlock, classic beadlock. I'm going to stick with the AM race, and then I think for this one I'm going to run a red, and there's really not all that much that like differs between the two, obviously, except for the major difference being the wheelbase. So let's fire you up now and take you straight to the main racetrack. Now for the main racetrack, I wanted to stick with the other suspension and some smaller wheels and tires because I kind of wanted to see what the performance difference was like. But it actually has a decent amount of grip on the pavement. I mean, obviously, because it's SnowRunner, you're still going to have a little bit of slip on any kind of paved surface, but I kind of feel like, you know, if you spend a decent amount of time... Oh, God, what? Straight line accelerating, and the rear end was suddenly like, I'm going this way. All right, let me turn you around real quick. Let me try that one more time, because that was a little bit weird. It didn't really like to maintain its forward momentum. Well, it wanted to maintain its forward momentum, just not in the direction I wanted it to maintain it in. All right, come on. Even with, like, the all-wheel drive on, it definitely, like, the back axle has this kind of tendency to want to walk around on you, which is weird. Although, it's actually super helpful in corners. Like, it helps it get around corners, but in a straight line, it's kind of frustrating. Oh, easy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yep, it can't corner that fast. Okay. I wanted to see how fast it could corner, and I kind of figured when it started just sliding like that, and it's the thing about it is, when these vehicles start sliding completely sideways like that, it's almost inevitable that they're going to reach a point at which they find grip, and when they find grip, they get very unhappy, and then they just flip over. So that's kind of just a part of the physics system with this game, honestly. It's a part of the physics system, and it's a part of the way the physics interact with the surface that the pavement is. So let's make our way around. Whoa! Again. Yep. And, like, you have to feather it a lot. Like, when you're going around corners like that, you have to feather it a lot so that that doesn't happen. And really, I mean, I know it's not a race truck, but I think at the end of the day, it's still very, very easily raceable, you know? I mean, if you took it somewhere like the TNB Trails racetrack, you'd have a blast with it out there. Same with desert trails. This thing would absolutely rock on desert trails. It would love desert trails. Come on. Get yourself going in the right direction. Oh, see, it likes it in high, but, like, you just have to find the right rhythm for it. And when you find the right rhythm, it's great. Gotta feather that throttle. Dude, wow, okay, once you get onto the dirt part of the circuit and you just leave it in high and like, modulate the throttle from there, it's awesome. It's great. It really, really wakes up. Just gotta kind of figure out how it prefers to be driven, really. And the suspension tuning is awesome. I would definitely recommend using the standard suspension for any kind of like racing or high speed kind of stuff, because it seems to like it a lot better than the Flexi one does. And that's, you know, that's completely understandable. The Flexi one is going to be your more like slow paced rock crawling suspension type setup. And whoa, I tried to save it by like staying flat on the throttle. Didn't work, obviously. All right, let's go ahead and back you up real quick. We've got just a little bit more of the track to do, and these are gonna be a blast to race in multiplayer, like with Diesel Addict or something. That's gonna be fun. That is gonna be an absolute blast. All right, down to the inside. On the inside of that corner, dude, it does that little trophy truck wheel lift sometimes. Like if it's got a lot of grip on the front end and it bites, and then you get into the power and it shifts the power to the back, it will pick up like the inside front tire. That's so satisfying to see. I'm not going to do the oval because the oval is kind of just like, the oval is kind of a part of this track that I'm like, this isn't really designed for the oval. So if I was actually racing somebody, I would absolutely do the oval. But in this test, I'm not really thinking that the oval is going to be a big part of it. So this one is going to be set up with the custom 6-speed, the more flex suspension, and it's going to have the 54-inch XMLs. Now, this is going to be a very different setup as opposed to what the other ones had. And I think I'm going to do the classic bead lock on this one. And we're going to paint this one probably like kind of a lighter blue, I want to say. I do like how these look in blue. I really like how these look in blue. And from here, we're going to actually head to the balance track. Now, what's cool about these is that, like I said before, they all have a slightly different wheelbase. So you can really go with whichever one you prefer. All right, let's see how these tires line up with the width of this track. They seem to work pretty dang well, actually. I feel like, almost like if you went with a wider tire or a wider offset wheel, it might be a little less willing to do as well through here. But wow, it walked through that first part of the balance track like nobody's business. And if a truck walks through that first part super easily, you know you've got a good truck on your hands for the rest of the track. You know you've got a truck that's going to do a good job for you, and you know you've got a truck that is most likely not going to let you down on any of these obstacles. All right, so this is actually the main obstacle I was interested in trying with this truck, because this obstacle really allows you to see the suspension getting put to use, and all you really need to do is put in minor steering inputs as you go over these large flex sections. And wow, did it do that with flying colors. It did that amazingly well. And through here, I mean, you can just see it working its way back and forth. It really does look incredible, and I think it does a great job of just, honestly, at the end of the day, I think it does a great job of doing just about everything that you can set out to do with it. I mean, if you want to go obstacle racing, do it. If you want to go, like, racing, do that. If you want to do a balance track or a crawler obstacle course, do that. You're gonna have a blast either way that you look at it. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions on it in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.